Hello and a warm welcome to the show. This is Pulse of Culture and I'm Alicja Bielawska. Galeria Studio has premiered a captivating new exhibition that draws inspiration from the healing sanctuaries of ancient Greece. In a world filled with constant stimulation, this project offers a refreshing escape, inviting visitors into a realm of calm and serenity. I'm pleased to welcome the curator of the exhibition, Paulina Olszewska. Delighted to have you with us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So let me start with the exhibition title, Asclepieia, right? It sort of refers to these healing centers of ancient Greece. Could you perhaps explain this to us?
Yes, Asclepieia, there were ancient Greek temples devoted to the Greek god, the god of Asclepios, who was the god of healing, the god of medicine. And in ancient times, these temples, actually they function as our contemporary spas or places, or bath, like places where you can heal, when you can retreat yourself, when you can have different cures. And the idea of ancient Asclepieias was that people actually pilgrimaged there to cure themselves. Among, like, one of the cure, it was sleep, so that was a kind of one of the treatment during the stay in the temple.
And the exhibition is also meant to cure some ailments of the modern era of everyday life.
Yes, exactly. So our idea, mine as a curator and also the team of Galeria Studio, was to create a space which can give you an opportunity to calm down, to actually shut yourself out from what is happening in the outside world, to give you time for relaxing, time to maybe gather energy, and time to also think about your body, about your mind, about your health, and time also to retreat and space where you can feel simply well and good.
Mm-hmm. And I have a booklet that accompanies this exhibition, and there's a set of rules for those who enter, including not using a mobile phone, perhaps also using the furniture, right, that's provided. So I wonder why did you make this exhibition so immersive?
I think that you can perceive art not only visually. It is important to perceive art also through your other senses, through your hearing, through your touching, and through also like senses that coming from your body. It's also like there is this theory that art can heal you, that art can be a process of therapy or used in a process of therapy. And that was also my approach in the exhibition, to think about art as a kind of tool for healing, for taking care of all of the senses that also suffer because of what is happening in our contemporary world. So that's why there are also those rules which can give you possibility to use the exhibition, because we as participants of the exhibition, we are used to have certain rules how to visit the exhibition. One of them is please do not touch artworks, or please do not enter center areas, please do not sit down, please, just move in certain directions. And in this exhibition, I think almost everything is possible.
Well, this is a great idea, but let's talk about art, because you drew together various artists from, different eras, and sort of what was the key?
One was the main focus of the exhibition is our collection, the collection of Galeria Studio, which is more than 50 years old. We have more than 1,000 art pieces made in different medias, from painting, drawings, photography, sculptures or installations. And within this collection, I have chosen 30 pieces: photography, paintings, works on papers, and some sculptures as well. And that was the starting point also for the whole exhibition. And then I invited also two architects, exhibition designers, who designed the whole exhibition setup with those furnitures and places to lay down, and also spaces to relax. And it's also, I treat it also as an independent artwork. And the third part, there are interventions made by contemporary artists. I invited 5 artists who are active right now. They are young artists, and they prepared special interventions because the artworks usually, or the project that they made, they usually have more participative character, or they are very immersive or ephemeral.
And I wanted to ask you about this one particular artwork that makes you lose reception, right?
Yes, that was the primary idea of a New York-based artist Damiański, whom I invited, and when I invited him, he offered to create this situation. And he wanted to cut off the space of the gallery from the reception, from internet and from mobile phone, because he wanted to have this situation that people do not escape into the virtual world. They do not use phones, but concentrate on being in space physically and also interact with other people, with artworks. And his idea was to use a special jammer. It's a device which blocks the signal. And when we work on this project and we started to use the device and start to test it, we found out that unfortunately for our project, the using of such a device in Poland is illegal. So it's not legal to block signal like internet or radio or cell phone connection, and we are not allowed to legally use this device. And of course, we as public institution, and that was also not the idea of the artist to break the law. So we had to think about other solution and how to deal with the situation, because yes, the blocking of the signal is not possible, so we ask the guests who visit our gallery to simply switch off the phone, but really switch them off, like in a sense that not put on a plane mode or not switch off the ringing tone, but switch it off completely. And that raises a lot of questions. In a sense, people who have to do that, they have to ask themselves if they are ready to switch the phones off and cut themselves consciously from the virtual world. And it's also a little bit like exercise for them.
Right, I mean, it could give some anxiety, but at least they know what's happening, right?
Yes.
Whereas in that previous case, they would just be surprised that they have no reception, right?
Yes, but it also tells us that we are somehow dependent on the virtual world, in a sense that the only gesture that we have to make, or we have to make to cut ourselves off, is to switch off the device. We cannot do it in other way. We are somehow forced to be in the virtual world all the time.
Right, and then it forces people to be self-aware and realize that, you know, some of us are just addicted to our phones.
Exactly.
But I wanted to go back to the artworks. Do you have your favorite one, and which one is it?
Oh, that's a difficult question, because I'm, of course, attached to all of the artworks, because I was in the process of choosing them. Then I also worked closely with the artists who prepared the more ephemeral or the more participative artworks. So it's really difficult. But I would say that I really like works by Alicja Bielawska, who are in our collection. Her works on paper, drawings, which have this very beautiful aesthetic. They have very beautiful compositions, and they invite to look at them and enjoy. And I like also working with Alicja a lot. That's our one of the many projects that we did together within Galeria Studio. Her works were bought to our collection a few years ago, so they are pretty new. So I think that's one of my favorite artwork. But when it goes to more contemporary artists, or the artists that I invited extra, I think that Dobrawa Borkała, her idea and her concept for the exhibition is also very interesting, because she created a series of breath meditation. So there is audio which could be heard on the headphones, and she guides you, the artist guides you through like a breathing meditation, and she teaches you how to breathe to relax.
Oh, that's very interesting. What about the Japanese artist Koji Kamoji? I mean, he sort of became more popular, right, recently?
Yes, we are very lucky. Like Galeria Studio is very lucky to have few of his artworks in our collection. One of the pieces is right now in Japan, where there is a huge comprehensive show by the artist. But we decided to show also another piece of him. It is called The Moment. And it's a beautiful, very Japanese composition, if we can describe it like that, which contains of two stones which are attached to an empty space, and it's also very contemplative to look at them and just meditate on the emptiness and fullness, which is the base of Buddhist and Japanese culture.
The poem that basically is, you can see at the very beginning of the exhibition, it is a poem by David Berger. The moment you wake up and your fingers have not yet light touching the skin of your eyes. Sort of, it refers to a liminal state between sort of being asleep and being awake. I was wondering, why is this moment in our, daily routine so important, and is it perhaps, can we draw parallels with some other liminal stages in our lives when we're, transitioning?
Yes, for sure. The poem generally described this whole pilgrimage and also this various process of healing within those temples. And one of the cure was cure through sleep, and that was also a collective event where a group of people fell asleep and then woke up together. And I think I have chosen this fragment of this poem because this waking up is one of my favorite time of the day. So the moment when I have to wake up, but I'm still a little bit asleep and the day is ahead of me. But after the night, I'm rested and I have energy to start a day. So I think that was what have driven me to this part.
But you're also planning to add scent, right, to this exhibition?
Yes, exactly. That's also a project by Dobrawa Borkała. And from the beginning on, we knew that we wanted to have something which will develop through the exhibition. And Dobrawa right now, she stays in the exhibition, or she's present there, and she thinks how to design a scent for the exhibition, which will relate to the space and the artworks and the whole display and the whole also situation created by the architects.
Mm-hmm. And just my last question, you said that the exhibition is meant to encourage people to interact. So do you see visitors interacting?
Opening was amazing. There were a lot of people who really interacted. They read our manual, and then you could feel that they felt comfortable, and you could see that. They really lied down, they sat on the chairs, or they sat on the furnitures. They were curious, so they looked through some holes in the fabrics, and they really enjoy also walking on the floor, because we have a special floor designed by the architects, and it's a sensoric floor. So different parts of the floor, they have different sensoric meanings. So some of the parts are hard, some of them are soft, warm, cold, a little bit scratchy, a little bit soft. So you could really see how people enjoyed just walking around and discover those different sensoric surprises.
Well, it is an experience, definitely. But I also wanted to ask you about the theater, right? Because you're sort of integrated in a sense. So are you mutually, do you influence one another? I mean, will your exhibition have an impact on the theater?
Yes. That is the primary idea of Studio, which right now also has a name of Studio Theatre Gallery. And from the beginning on, we should, or we function as one body, let's call it like that, or one body with different parts. And of course, we influence each other. And that what is happening in theater has influence on us, and what is happening in the gallery also influences the theater. And as far as I know, our artistic director, who is also a theater director, Natalia Kolczakowska, she works on her new play, which will premiere in September this year. And she also works with breath and breathing methods. And so she also uses elements from our show within her theatric context.
This is all very, very interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Paulina Olszewska, thank you. And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.